Welcome to my Expat Stories. Can you fall in love with someone you've never touched, never smelled, never sat across from at an actual table? Walter thought he could. 59 years old, Cleveland, divorced, lonely, terrified of real intimacy. Then he met her online, Philippines. Daily video calls became morning coffee together, dinner together, falling asleep together, all through a screen. It felt more real than anything he'd had in person, more intimate, because online there's no pressure, no performance, just connection, or what he needed to believe was connection. 8 months of pixels and promises, and then reality came calling. The question isn't whether Walter knew what he was doing. The question is whether knowing would have stopped him. If you've ever preferred the fantasy because reality was too terrifying, hit that subscribe and like button. This one cuts deep. Here's Walter. I know how this sounds. I know what you're thinking. 59-year-old guy. Never met her in person. Sent money. Fell in love with a screen. I get it. I sound pathetic. But hear me out. Because it wasn't like that. Or it was. But it made sense at the time. It made sense to me. I'm Walter, 59, Cleveland, Ohio. Retired insurance adjuster. Worked for Nationwide for 33 years. Claims department. Good job. Steady. Boring but steady. I retired about a year back. Early retirement package. Pension's decent. About $30,000 a year. Plus savings. I'm fine financially. Not rich, but fine. I was married once, long time ago. Debbie. We were together 12 years. Divorced 15 years ago now. No kids. She wanted them. I was scared. Kept putting it off. Then she met someone else, someone who wasn't scared. Last I heard they've got 3 kids. Good for them, I mean that. She deserved someone better than me. I've been alone since. Not completely alone. I dated, here and there, nothing serious. I'd meet someone. We'd go out a few times. Then I'd get nervous. Start thinking about all the ways it could go wrong. All the ways I could disappoint them. All the ways they'd see who I really am and leave. So I'd pull back. Make excuses, stop calling. Easier that way. Less painful in the long run. COVID made it worse, the isolation. Working from home those last few years. Then retiring right into more isolation. My apartment in Cleveland, 1 bedroom. 7th floor. View of the lake if you lean out far enough. I'd sit there. Watch TV. Make dinner for one. Go to bed. Wake up. Repeat. The loneliness wasn't dramatic, it was just constant. Like tinnitus, always there, background noise you can't escape. I found Jasmine on Filipino Cupid, online dating site. I'd tried the American ones, Match, eHarmony. But they felt aggressive. Everyone had these long lists of what they wanted. Adventure, travel, spontaneity. I'm none of those things. I'm careful. Predictable. I like routine. Someone on a Reddit forum mentioned Filipino women were more traditional. More family-oriented. Less demanding. That sounded manageable. So I signed up. Jasmine's profile was simple. 37. Baguio City. Worked in a call centre. Liked movies and cooking. Her photo was nice, not glamorous, just normal. Pretty in a regular way. She had this smile that looked genuine. Not posed. That's what made me message her. Her reply came back in an hour. Friendly. Asked about Cleveland, about what I did. Normal questions. We messaged back and forth for a week, then she suggested a video call. I almost said no, but I thought, why not? What's the worst that could happen? That first call. I remember everything about it. It was 9 in the morning my time, 10 at night hers. She answered and there she was. Exactly like her photo, maybe better. She had this energy, this warmth. And when she smiled, it felt like something opened up in my chest. We talked for an hour about nothing, about everything. Her job, my retirement, Cleveland weather, Baguio weather. She said Baguio was cool, mountain city, pine trees, nothing like the hot beach cities everyone thinks of for Philippines. I liked that. The idea of Philippines being cool, different from expectations. When we hung up, I felt lighter. Like I'd been carrying something heavy and didn't realise until I put it down. We did it again the next day. And the next. And before I knew it, we were talking every morning. My morning. Her night. She'd be finishing her shift at the call centre. I'd be having my first coffee. We'd just talk about our days. About what we saw. what we thought about things. Month 2, it became routine. Real routine. I'd wake up, 7 a.m, make coffee, open my laptop, call Jasmine, she'd answer. Already in her pyjamas, her apartment in Baguio. Small place. I could see her kitchen behind her. Simple. Clean. She'd have tea. We'd just exist together for an hour. Sometimes 2. I never smelled her shampoo. Never felt her hand. Never sat across from her at an actual table where I could see how she cut her food or if she talked with her mouth full. But I knew other things. I knew she laughed at dumb jokes. I knew she got excited about cooking shows even though her kitchen was tiny. I knew she listened, actually listened when I talked about boring insurance stories or my worries about retirement being meaningless. She'd show me Baguio through her phone. The streets, the market, the pine trees, Burnham Park. She'd walk around with the camera and I'd see her city, smell nothing, feel nothing, but see everything through her eyes. She made it feel close, real. Like I was there with her, even though I was 7,000 miles away in Cleveland watching snow fall outside my window. We started eating dinner together. Well, I'd eat dinner, she'd eat breakfast, different time zones. But we'd sync up, prop our phones or laptops up, eat, talk, watch each other. It sounds weird saying it out loud, but it didn't feel weird. It felt, intimate, more intimate than dinners I'd had with Debbie where we'd sit in silence or argue about having kids. With Jasmine, there was no silence, no argument, just her and me. And this connection through screens that felt more real than anything I'd had in person. Month 3, she told me she loved me. We were on a call, late night my time, early morning hers. I was half asleep. She said it quietly. Walter, I think I'm falling in love with you. I froze. Didn't know what to say. My throat got tight. Finally I said, I think I love you too. And I meant it. I know how crazy that sounds. I'd never touched her, never been in the same room, never smelled her perfume or felt her breath or any of the things people say you need to fall in love. But I loved her. I loved talking to her. I loved how she made me feel. I loved that she didn't see my flaws because screens hide flaws. Screens show you the best version. And she loved that version. We started talking about meeting. In person. She said she wanted to come to Cleveland, see the snow, see where I lived, meet me for real. I said yes, of course, but inside I was terrified. Because what if she met me and realised I wasn't the guy on the screen? What if real Walter was disappointing? What if I smelled wrong or talked wrong or looked wrong in person? What if the magic only worked through screens? So when she said she couldn't come yet, her mother was sick, needed care, couldn't leave. I was relieved. I said, of course. Take care of your mum. We have time. The money started because she mentioned rent. Not asking, just mentioning. Her rent was going up. She'd have to move. Farther from work, longer commute. She sounded stressed about it. I asked how much. She said about $300 a month. I said I'd cover it. She tried to refuse. I insisted. $300 meant nothing to me. It meant everything to her. It meant she didn't have to move. It meant less stress. It meant I could help. I could be useful. Not just a voice on a screen, but someone who mattered. She cried, thanked me, said I was too kind, said she didn't deserve me. I told her she did. She deserved everything. After that, it became natural. She'd mention her mother's medication. I'd send money. She'd mention wanting a better camera for our calls. Better quality. See each other clearer. I bought her one. She'd mentioned saving for us. For when we met. For our future. I'd send money for that too. It wasn't about the money. It was about building something. Together. Even if together was through screens. Even if I'd never felt her skin or heard her voice without digital compression or sat next to her in physical space. We were building something. And that felt real. Month 4. She said she couldn't come visit yet. Her mother got worse. Needed surgery. She was devastated. I told her, don't worry. Focus on your mum. We'll meet when the time is right. And I sent money for the surgery. $4,000. She cried on the video call. Said I was saving her mother's life. Said she loved me more than anything. And I believed her. Because I wanted to believe her. Because believing her meant I wasn't alone. Meant someone loved me. Meant this thing we had was real even if it only existed through fibre optic cables and satellite signals and screens that lit up when she smiled. I know how it sounds. I know. But you weren't there, you weren't in my apartment. In my loneliness. in my fear of real intimacy. You weren't on those calls where she made me laugh, where she listened, where she loved me. Or seemed to. And that seemed to was enough. For 8 months, it was enough. Until it wasn't. Month 5, the delays continued. Her mother recovered from surgery. But now Jasmine had a big project at work. Call centre was launching new client. She was team lead. Couldn't take time off. Maybe in a few months, when things settled. I said I understood. And I did. But also I was relieved, because a few more months meant a few more months of this. Of us. Of the version that worked. The version where I didn't have to worry about disappointing her in person. We fell into deeper routine. Morning calls. Evening calls. Sometimes we'd just leave the video on. Do our own things. I'd watch TV. She'd cook. We'd glance at the screen. See each other. It felt like living together. Like sharing space. Except the space was digital. And I could end it by closing my laptop if it got too much. That control, that safety. That's what made it perfect. She'd show me what she was cooking. Hold ingredients up to the camera. Garlic, ginger, fish sauce. I couldn't smell any of it. Couldn't taste it. But I'd watch her hands move. Watch her face concentrate. And I'd feel connected. Like I was there with her. Even though I wasn't. Even though I'd never been there. Even though I might never be there. I started sending more money. Not because she asked. Because I wanted to. Wanted to support her life. Our life. The life we were building through screens. Her internet kept cutting out. I paid for an upgrade. Better connection. Clearer video. Worth every penny to see her without lag. To hear her voice without cutting out. She wanted to take English classes. Improve her accent. Make it easier when we finally met. When she came to Cleveland or I went to Baguio. I paid for the classes. She was so grateful. Said I was investing in our future. Our future. I thought about that a lot. What it would look like. Where we'd live. Cleveland, probably. She said she liked the idea of snow. Of seasons. Baguio had cool weather but no snow. She wanted to experience real winter. I imagined showing her Cleveland. Lake Erie. The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Driving her around. Holding her hand. Actually holding her hand. Not seeing her hand on a screen but feeling it. The warmth. The weight. The realness. But then I'd panic. Because what if my hand was sweaty? What if I held it wrong? What if real physical contact ruined everything? Month 6, COVID was still a thing. Travel restrictions complicated. She mentioned maybe she could get a visa, come to America, but the embassy was backed up. Processing times were months, maybe a year. I said we'd wait. What's a year when we had our whole lives? She agreed. Said patience was love. Said we were proving we had something real because we were willing to wait. Willing to build slowly. Not rush into things. I agreed, even though part of me knew. I wasn't being patient. I was being scared. And the waiting wasn't about COVID or visas or her mother or her work. It was about me. About my fear. About preferring this safe digital version over the terrifying real version. We started talking about marriage. Not immediate, but eventual. She said she wanted to be my wife. Wanted to wake up next to me. Actually next to me. Not on a screen. In the same bed. In the same room. In the same reality. I said I wanted that too. And I did. Sort of. I wanted to want it. But wanting something and actually being ready for it are different things. And I wasn't ready. Might never be ready. But I could pretend I was working toward ready, while staying in the comfortable place of not ready yet. We looked at rings online together. She'd show me options. I'd give opinions. She'd smile. Say she didn't care about the ring. Just about the promise. About us. About forever. I bought her a promise ring. Sent it to Baguio. She opened it on video call. Cried. Put it on. Held her hand up to the camera. I couldn't see the ring clearly. Screen resolution isn't good enough for small details. But I could see her face. See her happiness. See her love. Or what looked like love. What I needed to believe was love. Month 7, she got nervous. Started saying she was worried about meeting. Worried I'd be disappointed. She'd send me photos of herself. Ask if I was sure I liked how she looked. Said video calls could be deceiving. Angles. Lighting. What if real her wasn't as pretty? I told her she was beautiful. She was. On screen she was beautiful. And I was too scared to think about whether real her would be different. Because if real her was different, then what did that mean about real us? She said maybe we should wait longer, build more foundation, make sure this was real before we met, before we risked ruining it by bringing reality into it. And I agreed, enthusiastically agreed. Yes, let's wait. Let's be sure. Let's keep building what we have. Because what we had worked. Why risk it? I sent her money to save for her flight. Whenever she was ready. $2,000. Put it in her savings. She thanked me. Said she was saving it for us, for our future, for when we were ready. Month 8, I realised I'd sent over $40,000. I looked at my bank account, saw the transfers. All to Jasmine. All for us. Rent, internet, classes, her mother, savings, camera, this, that, on everything. $40,000 and I'd never touched her hand, never smelled her hair, never heard her voice without digital compression, never existed in the same physical space, never confirmed any of this was real beyond pixels and bandwidth and the desperate need to believe I wasn't alone. I sat in my apartment. Cleveland winter outside, grey, cold, the lake barely visible through the snow. And I thought, this is insane. This whole thing is insane. But then my laptop chimed. Video call. Jasmine. I answered. She smiled. Said good morning, baby. Asked how I slept. And the insanity faded. Because there she was, smiling at me, loving me, making me feel seen and wanted and important. What's $40,000 compared to that? What's money compared to connection? Even if the connection existed only through screens, even if it was all in my head, even if none of it was real, it felt real, and feeling real was enough. Month 8, she finally said it. Walter, I think I'm ready. I want to meet you. I want to be with you. Really with you. My heart stopped. Actually stopped. Then started racing. Panic and excitement mixed together until I couldn't tell which was which. I said yes, of course, yes. When? She said soon. Let me arrange things, talk to work, make sure my mother's okay. But soon, really soon, I started planning, looking at flights to Manila, hotels, what I'd bring, what I'd wear, rehearsing conversations, imagining the airport, seeing her, actually seeing her, not through a screen, in 3 dimensions, in real space, with real smells and sounds, and the terror of physical presence, but also the excitement, the possibility, the chance that maybe, just maybe, this could work. This could be real. We could translate what we had through screens into something that existed in actual reality. I told her I'd fly to Manila, meet her there. She said no. She'd come to Cleveland. She wanted to see my world, see where I lived, experience my life. I said okay, whatever she wanted. I'd make it perfect. I'd show her everything. We'd make it work. She started planning her trip. Visa application, flight booking, packing. She'd send updates, show me things she was bringing, clothes she bought, excited messages about seeing snow, about meeting me, about finally being together. And I was terrified, completely terrified. Because what if I wasn't enough? What if real Walter disappointed her? What if this whole thing collapsed the second we tried to make it real? But I pushed through the terror, told myself, 8 months. We've been doing this 8 months. If it wasn't real, it wouldn't have lasted this long. If she didn't love me, she wouldn't be coming. If this wasn't meant to be, we wouldn't have found each other in the first place. I believed it. I had to believe it. Because the alternative was admitting I'd been fooling myself. Admitting I'd fallen in love with a fantasy. Admitting I'd spent $40,000 on pixels and hope. Then she changed the plan. Said actually, it would be easier if I came to Manila. She'd meet me there, show me Philippines, show me Baguio. Let me see her world before bringing her to mine. Made sense. Kind of. I said okay. I booked the flight, 2 weeks out, Cleveland to Manila, one way, because I wasn't sure when I'd come back. Maybe I'd stay a while. Maybe we'd figure it out together. Maybe this was the start of something real. I told her the flight details. She said perfect. She'd be at the airport, waiting, with a sign, with her smile, with all the love we'd built through screens finally made physical. I sent her more money, for expenses, for her trip from Baguio to Manila, for hotels if she needed to stay near the airport, for us, for whatever we needed. Another $6,000. I was at $54,000 total now. But what's money compared to love? What's money compared to finally meeting the woman I'd spent 8 months loving through a screen? 2 weeks until the flight. 14 days. I counted them, marked them on my calendar. Each day closer to real. Each day closer to either everything I'd hoped for or complete disaster. I couldn't tell which scared me more, the possibility of it working or the possibility of it not. But I was going. I'd decided. After 8 months of screens and pixels and digital love, I was going to make it real or find out it never was. The flight was 14 hours. Cleveland to Detroit to Tokyo to Manila. I didn't sleep. Couldn't. My mind kept racing. What would I say when I saw her? Would I hug her? Kiss her? Just stand there awkwardly? Would she look like her video? Sound like her video? Smell like I imagined? I'd never smelled her. Never knew if she wore perfume. If her hair smelled like coconut shampoo or flowers, or just clean. Never knew if she was tall or short in real space. Screens don't show height. Don't show the way someone moves through a room, the way they exist in 3 dimensions. I was about to find out. All of it. Every question I'd avoided for 8 months. Every fear I'd pushed down. Every doubt I'd buried under the weight of wanting this to be real. The plane landed in Manila at 3 p.m. local time. I told Jasmine, she knew, said she'd be there. At arrivals, with a sign. With flowers maybe. She was so excited. Last message before I boarded in Cleveland. See you soon, baby. Finally, I can't wait to hold you. I can't wait to hold you. I'd read that message 20 times during the flight. Imagined it. Her arms around me. Actually around me. Not a screen promise. An actual embrace. With weight and warmth and the smell of her and the reality of her. I got through immigration, got my bag, walked through to arrivals. Manila airport is huge, crowded, hot. The air conditioning wasn't great. I could smell sweat and food and something else. Just Philippines. The smell of being somewhere completely foreign. I scanned the crowd, looking for her. For Jasmine. For the face I'd seen on my screen every morning for 8 months. She said she'd have a sign. With my name. Walter. Easy to spot. I didn't see her. I walked around, checked different areas. Maybe she was waiting at a different exit. Manila Airport has multiple terminals. Maybe she got confused. Maybe I got confused. I messaged her on WhatsApp. I'm here at arrivals, Terminal 3, where are you? The message sent. 2 grey checks, delivered. No response. I waited. 5 minutes. 10. Kept scanning the crowd. Looking for her. For that smile I knew so well. For those eyes that had looked at me through a screen every day. For the woman I'd spent $54,000 supporting. The woman I'd told I loved. The woman who'd said she loved me back. 20 minutes, no response. I called. It rang. And rang. Voicemail. Her voice. The same voice from the calls. Hi, this is Jasmine. Leave a message. Beep, I said. Hey, it's me, Walter. I'm at the airport. Terminal 3, arrivals. I don't see you. Call me back. I waited. 30 minutes now. The crowd thinned. People were meeting their families, their friends, their whoever. Everyone had someone. Everyone except me. I tried calling again. Straight to voicemail this time. Phone off. Or blocked. Messaged again. Jasmine, I'm worried. Are you okay? Did something happen? Please respond. Delivered. 2 blue checks. She read it. She was there. On the other side of the screen. Reading my message. Not responding. 1 hour. I sat down on a bench. People walking past. Dragging suitcases. Hugging their people. And I sat there. Staring at my phone. At the messages that said delivered. Not answered. 2 hours. I called again. Voicemail. 3 hours. I started panicking. What if something happened? What if she was in an accident? Coming from Baguio to Manila. Long drive. Maybe the bus crashed. Maybe she's in a hospital. Maybe she needs help. I messaged her friends. The ones she'd mentioned. Talked about on our calls. Maria. Jen. Asked if they'd heard from Jasmine. If she was okay. If they knew where she was. No response, not from anyone. 4 hours. A security guard asked if I was okay, if I needed help. I said I was waiting for someone. He nodded. Moved on, checked on me again an hour later. Same question, same answer. He looked at me with pity. That look. The one that says, I know what's happening here and I'm sorry for you. 5 hours. I finally messaged someone from the call centre. Someone Jasmine had mentioned once. Worked with her. Maybe they'd know. Maybe they'd seen her. Maybe they'd explain. The response came back in 20 minutes. Who is this? I explained. Walter. From Cleveland. Jasmine's boyfriend. We were supposed to meet today. I'm at the airport. She's not here. Is she okay? Long pause. Typing. Stopped. Typing again. I don't know anyone named Jasmine who works here. How did you get this number? I said Jasmine gave it to me. Mentioned this person. Said they work together. Another long pause. There are a lot of women named Jasmine in Baguio. Lots of them do online work. I don't know which one you're talking about. Sorry. That's when I knew. Really knew. Not suspected. Knew. There was no Jasmine. Not the Jasmine I knew. Maybe the woman on the video was named Jasmine. Maybe she wasn't. Maybe she was in Baguio. Maybe she wasn't. Maybe any of it was true. Maybe none of it was. But the Jasmine I loved. The Jasmine who said she loved me. The Jasmine who was supposed to meet me here. Who was supposed to hold me. Who was supposed to make 8 months of digital love real. She never existed. I sat at that airport for 3 more hours, staring at my phone, at the unanswered messages, at the calls that went to voicemail, at the $54,000 in transfers on my bank app, at 8 months of daily video calls, at the promise ring I'd sent, at the future we'd planned, at everything that felt so real when it was happening but turned to nothing the second it was supposed to become physical. I thought about Cleveland, about my apartment, about the loneliness that led me to Filipino Cupid in the first place, about the fear that made online love feel safer than real love, about how I'd preferred the delays, preferred the distance, preferred the version that existed only through screens because screens could be turned off when they got too real, and maybe that's why she chose me, out of however many men she was talking to, however many Walters sending money to however many Jasmines. Maybe she chose me because she knew I'd rather have the fantasy. I'd rather love someone through a screen than risk being disappointed by reality. She gave me exactly what I wanted. A love that felt real without the terror of actually being real. And I paid $54,000 for 8 months of that feeling. Was it worth it? I don't know. Ask me when I'm back in Cleveland. Alone in my apartment. Lonelier now than before because now I know what it feels like to love someone. Even if they never existed. Even if it was all pixels and lies and my desperate need to believe. I flew back to Cleveland 2 days later. Didn't see anything of Manila. Didn't see anything of Philippines. Just the airport. And a hotel room where I sat and stared at my phone and waited for a message that never came. I'm home now. Same apartment. Same view of the lake. Same empty rooms. But different somehow. Emptier. Because now I know what I'm missing. Or what I think I'm missing. Or what I convinced myself I had. I still have her number saved. Jasmine. With a heart emoji. I haven't deleted it. Can't bring myself to. Because deleting it means accepting it's over. Accepting it never was. Accepting I spent 8 months loving a ghost. Sometimes I look at our chat history, scroll through months of messages. Good morning, baby, I love you. I miss you. Can't wait to see you. All of it there, all of it documented. Proof that something happened, even if that something wasn't what I thought it was. The financial damage is done. $54,000. More than a year of my pension. Gone. Supporting a woman who may or may not have been named Jasmine. Who may or may not have been in Baguio. Who definitely wasn't my girlfriend. Who definitely never loved me. But the emotional damage. That's worse. Because I did love her. The person on the screen. The voice. The smile. The way she listened. The way she made me feel. I loved that. I loved her. Even if her was never real. And now I'm back where I started. Alone but worse than alone. Because now I know what connection feels like. Even fake connection. Even digital connection. Even connection that costs $54,000 and ends with you sitting in an airport for 8 hours, realising the person you love never existed. I haven't gone back on Filipino Cupid. Haven't tried dating again. Haven't done anything except sit here and think about Jasmine. About what she's doing now. If she thinks about me, if she feels anything. If any of it meant anything to her beyond the money. Probably not. Probably I was just a job, a good client. Walter from Cleveland, who paid regularly and never asked too many questions, and preferred fantasy over reality. Easy money, easy work, log on, smile, say I love you, collect the transfer, repeat. But for me it was real. The love was real. The connection was real. The hope was real, and that's what hurts most. Not that she lied, but that I believed her, wanted to believe her, needed to believe her so badly, I built an entire relationship out of pixels and bandwidth and desperate loneliness. This is my expat stories. Sometimes you fall in love with someone you've never touched.